Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, let's get started. So today I am going to attempt the near impossible task of ranking all of my gear from least favorite to favorite, I guess we'll say. That's not really a fair statement though, because I do love all of my gear. But yeah, I thought this would be kind of fun and might give me some perspective on things as well, maybe places where I need to pick things back up, and also kind of give you guys an overall view of what I own. So if there's something that I've got that you would like to see more of, you can request that down in the comments below. But before we get started, I do need to shout out one of my patrons. Today's shout out goes to Jim Picard. Jim, thank you so much for supporting the channel and keeping things afloat around here. I appreciate it. If you'd like to help support the channel, just head over to patreon.com/freebeat. Let's start this list. I almost don't want to do this because I don't want to like hurt any of my gear's feelings, you know what I mean? By the way, I'm not going to include MIDI controllers, so no launch pad or launch control or key step or anything like that. I figured we'd keep it to just synthesizers, drum machines, groove boxes, you know, just the stuff that actually makes sound. So here we go at dead last. It's the Korg Monotron Delay. Now before you click away in anger, I actually absolutely love this thing. The only problem is that by itself, it's not really that great of an instrument. It's more meant for external devices plugged into it to be ran through the great filter and the awesome delay. It does have an analog synth built into it, but this little keyboard here is just for show. It basically just goes like, and you can't really play it. It's great for weird sound effects, but as an instrument, you can't really play it. So yeah, I regrettably have to put this one at dead last, just because I very rarely take it out and play with it by itself. Next up is the Behringer Model D. Let's move on. No, just kidding. Behringer Model D, it's a clone of the classic Mini Moog. It's a good clone. It sounds great. I really do enjoy playing with it, and I've really come to appreciate what it can do and what it can sound like. Just with everything going on right now, and you know, me kind of reflecting on owning Behringer gear, I honestly have not been very motivated to play it. So yeah, it's gonna go second to last on my list. Maybe that'll change, but not sure. Okay, next up, oh god, next up is the Alesis, Alesis Micron. So this was my first ever synthesizer. I've had this for almost 12 years now, and it is a very, very, very powerful synthesizer, and I really appreciate everything that it can do with like the performance modes and the ability to store basically limitless sequences and transpose them all over the keyboard. However, the UI is quite dated. You just basically have this two-line display, and that's about it. Scroll wheel to go through hundreds, and I mean hundreds of parameters. This thing is very, very deep, an awesome analog modeling synth, but navigating the menu is an absolute chore. And I thought maybe that was just in my head, so for the Halloween show, I actually used this and played it live, but programming-wise, I made a lot of the sounds on the Micron, and it just took forever, and it really just felt like an old piece of gear that really couldn't keep up with the new stuff. So while it holds a very special place in my heart, I unfortunately had to put it, you know, third from the bottom. So, yep, it is what it is. Okay, and coming in at number 8, this might surprise people, but it is the Po33 KO. I do absolutely love this pocket operator. It was my first ever pocket operator. This was what started the channel, basically. Unfortunately, I wound up breaking the screen about a month into the channel's lifespan, and it's been really hard for me to actually use it, you know, as it was intended by Teenage Engineering. So I don't really pick it up and play with it that much, and it's a great pocket operator, but not one of my favorites right now, just because it's been a long time since I've actually enjoyed making something on this. I know it's not necessarily fair, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now. It is looking like I'm gonna get a new one of these, so when that happens, I'm sure this will move way up the list, but for now, it is sitting in 8th place. Next up, number 7. Po35 Speak. I do think this is one of the most underrated pocket operators, and it is an absolute blast to use. It's already becoming so hard to rank these because I really do love every instrument from here on up. But the Speak is just one that I find myself using less than the others. I'm not really sure why. It just, I don't know, when I see it hanging there on my wall, it doesn't really inspire me to start using it. But whenever I do, I have a great time. So maybe I just need to use it more. But for now, it's sitting in 7th place. Next up, number 6, the Korg Volka keys. My first actual analog synth, and still the analog synth that I use most often. I really enjoy this thing. I like the simplicity of the controls, but you can get quite a wide variety of sounds out of it. Of course, MIDI in means that you can play it for real with a keyboard, but the onboard sequencer works great for just kind of tapping stuff in and listening to it. I've become a huge fan of this thing, and it's battery powered too, so you can take it with you if you have the budget for 10,000 AA, AAAs, whatever this takes, batteries. I actually don't have any in there. It's AA, 6 AA batteries. But it is portable if you need it to be. But yeah, this guy is resting squarely at number 6. It taught me a lot about analog synthesis and got me interested in expanding my knowledge. Number 5, the Po20 Arcade, right now with no batteries in it because they just died. I absolutely love the Arcade. I think this is the most complete pocket operator currently. If you just want to use stock sounds and stuff that's included right out of the box. The songs you can make with this thing are absolutely amazing. You can get some really complex stuff out of it with chord mode. And I really appreciate that Teenage Engineering went so hard on this guy, because the Office and the Robot, the other two POs in the 20 series, were relatively simple. But this guy, there's just so much. I mean, between chord mode, between effects being able to be toggled on and off, the sidechain effect on chord mode, you can fade sounds out. You can program your melodies in a really different way than normally. And yeah, I just have a blast using this. I use this one all the time. And I'm actually going to be filming a fun video with this weekend, so I hope you guys look forward to some more arcade content. But yeah, sitting at number 5, Po20 Arcade. At number 4, we have the Po32 Tonic. In my opinion, still the best drum machine that you can get under $500 if you combo it with the Microtonic VST software. What can I say about this that I haven't already said? It's just such a powerhouse. The fact that you can take slimmed down versions of your Microtonic patches with you anywhere for less than $100 is just absolutely insane. You can download other users' patches on the internet and just always have new sounds with you. It's just really remarkable, the sound engine on this thing, and the punch-in effects are some of the best in the Pocket Operator series, not to mention the mute and toggle functions. Teenage Engineering along with Magnus just knocked this one out of the park. Absolutely love it. Alrighty, coming in at number 3 is the OPZ. One of the craziest pieces of gear I've ever seen, let alone owned. A 16-track sequencer, 8 of which make sound. A ridiculous sequencer, I might add, with tons of step components and parameter locks. This guy can do so much. It's a sequencer, it's a sampler, it can control lighting, DMX lights, it can control Unity graphics. It's got a virtual tape track on there as well. The master tracks, the punch-in effects, just the normal send effects. The only thing I don't really care that much for anymore are the stock sounds, but with the sampling update, you can replace those with all of your own sounds. So this has become my go-to music writing device. I don't really like working with DAWs that much. And of course, not having a screen makes it so you have to learn your shortcuts, and once you do, you can just fly on this thing. The workflow is so fast. Not to mention the size is ridiculous. You can almost fit the OPZ in your pocket. I don't recommend doing that because it might break, but yeah, I'm just mind blown at how small this thing is and how much Teenage Engineering fit into this. So this is a solid number 3. Number 2, the Arturia Microfreak. I am always left speechless when I turn this thing on and start playing with the patch bay and just trying to deconstruct the presets and find out what this thing can do and what it's capable of. In terms of learning sound design and how to hear something in your head and then actually make it happen and make the sound, create the sound, I don't think there's anything out there that's better, maybe under $1,000. I mean, definitely under $500. This thing is just such a powerhouse of a synthesizer. I do not know what convinced Arturia to include this much synthesizer at that price, but it's absolutely insane. The other day I found out that you can modulate your modulations in the patch bay, and then I found out you can modulate your modulations that are modulating other modulations. And it's the amount of synthesizer here is ridiculous. Of course, you have, I believe it's 12 different oscillator types now, as well as an actual analog filter, a cycling envelope that you can set to just be a normal one, you can set to run, or you can set to loop, a normal envelope, an LFO, you know, an awesome sequencer with 2 patterns per patch, which I really appreciate, and this awesome keybed that is just like all touch, and you can, you know, apply more of your finger to modulate, well, whatever you want in the patch bay. It's just a normal modulation source. So this thing is just absolutely insane. Not to mention you can power it with that USB port, so you can take it with you wherever. Amazing synthesizer, absolutely incredible. Number 1 is going to be a tie, and I know that's cheating, but I could not pick between the Po24 Office and the Korg NTS1. The Office is by far and away my favorite pocket operator. It's so quirky, it's so unique, nothing else out there sounds like it, and the stuff you can create with this is just so much fun. You know, I'm just always smiling when I pick up the Po24 Office and use it, whether I'm on camera or not. I absolutely adore the Po24 Office. Such a fun little groove box is what it really is. And then the Korg NTS1. What can we say about the NTS1 that we haven't said already? It's less than $100. It's got audio in, so you can use all of its amazing modulation, delay, and reverb effects, as well as user-generated custom effects. And it's also got a monophonic digital synthesizer in there, so you can have a whole bunch of different user oscillators. And of course, you can affect those with the built-in filter types, the built-in envelope types. The oscillators can vary widely. There's so much content available for this thing. It's got a built-in arpeggiator with sync in and sync out, so it'll work with something like a pocket operator or the Microfreak or the Volkas. It's powered via USB, so you can once again take it anywhere with you. And on top of all that, it's got MIDI in, so you can actually play that synthesizer with a MIDI keyboard and play it properly. This thing is absolutely insane. This thing is insanely fun. I couldn't pick a first place between the two of them, so I had to give them a tie. I tried to fit as much as I could, but there's no way I was getting the Micron in on this. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like on it. If not, you can leave a dislike, that's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.